Hey guys, welcome to the Best Practices Show, where we take a look at the best business practices from the best dental practices all across the country. And I know a lot of you spend a ton of money on your marketing, especially your websites, and you wonder, is this working? Is this not working? I didn't get any patients call from this thing. So today we're going to unlock the code, the recipe to how to get patients to call from your website. And I got the guy who's got the secrets behind this, Mike Pedersen. So you're not going to want to miss this. So do me a favor, grab a pen and hit the share button. We'll see you in a second. Hey guys, welcome back to the Best Practices Show. I am so pumped to have you here, and building a great restorative practice or a specialty practice, one of the things that you're always trying to do is increase the level of marketing and engagement with prospective patients. And I know a lot of you do a ton of marketing, and I love marketing myself, but one of the things we're always frustrated with is how do we get more results or more ROI? And today's show is going to be all about that, because that's a lot of the questions we're getting from people is, how do we do better marketing? Now, a couple things before we get started here, because you're going to love the show, is this. We're shooting this live on Facebook. So as you have questions during the live broadcast, feel free to ask questions, and I'm going to have Mike, who's the expert on this, answer them directly. Or if you watch the show afterwards, even later on, feel free to add them to the feed, and I'll ask him to answer your questions specifically, because we want you to get your questions answered. And also, too, if you're just looking for great marketing information, I'm going to talk about Mike, his company, and his podcast, which is fantastic. But on May 11th and 12th, we have the 2-day marketing MBA, and we have a link over there. If you want 2 days of unbelievable marketing, you're going to find most of the things that we see. You don't need to invest a ton. They're just simple little things you can do that'll make big differences when you come back to your practice right away. So let's just jump right into it. Now, for those of you that don't know Mike, Mike is one of those guys who's come onto the scene, and he's come on pretty fast. And he's no slouch when it comes to internet marketing. So, Mike, I'm going to have you tell your story. But if people don't know who you are, your company is called The Dental Boost, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, you didn't start in dentistry. I want to know your story, because they don't know your story. You started in the golf world, right?
Yeah, I was a fitness guy. I was a personal trainer for about 20 years. Almost made the Olympic Games in the decathlon back in '88. I'm aging myself, but so I took my track career almost to a professional level, and then because I was so into sports, fitness was a perfect fit for me. So I went right into being a private trainer in the home for CEOs in Portland, Oregon. So I work with pretty elite, successful men, typically in their homes, successful men, and built that business up, and then moved to Scottsdale, Arizona in 2000, and thought, you know what? I love the internet. The internet's exploding. I love fitness. What can I do with, the two of those? And then all of a sudden, I picked up golf, and oh man, OCD kicked in, and got just crazed and possessed with golf. Was hitting golf balls in between clients, probably 4 to 5 hours a day, every single day. And I had 10 golf books in the back seat of my car, so I'd go train a client. And if I had an hour, I'd go to a golf course and hit balls. Go train another client, hit balls. Go train another client. So typically obsessed guy, and decided that I didn't see anything with golf fitness on the internet back in 2000. Okay. I thought, God, I wonder if I could launch a website for golf fitness. That's my two passions. And there was a guy on the scene who came out in 1997, and you might not know his name, Tiger Woods, but Tiger Woods, yeah, he came on the scene and brought fitness to golf, basically. So I probably owe him a big cut, a big check. But so in 2000, fitness really became popular with golfers. Long story short, I launched a website, a membership website, the first in the world, And I created some golf fitness products, DVDs, books. I had 9 different products that I sold all over the world. And so I built that up to a very, very, very successful business by myself. It actually hit 7 figures one year. So by myself, team of 1. I had a developer, but I did all the content, and I had a news subscriber base of 78,000 golfers. So I could send out an email and get a huge response very, very quickly. And then I launched a YouTube channel that today still gets. I was telling you earlier, I haven't touched it in 5 years, but if anybody wants to see the remnants of my golf life, go to YouTube and type my name in. And I think it's still one of the biggest YouTube channels for golf. It's got 4 million combined views, 15,000 subscribers. And the other day, about a month ago, I checked for kicks and I looked at the analytics, and I get 50,000 new views a month.
Wow.
On that channel. So I got one video that has 1.5 million views right now, one video.
That's crazy.
So, and then in 2008, something happened called the financial crash that I think everybody knows about, and probably everybody has a little bit of pain when they hear that. And that wiped out about 80% of my revenues because my demographic was the semi-retired to the retired golfer. Mm-hmm. And as a typical entrepreneur, I rode it out until about 2010 and decided this is basically gone. And I pivoted and decided I learned so much about the internet that I wanted to try to help local businesses grow their businesses from the internet. And I thought, that's an interesting concept. And then I met a few people in dentistry, and 6.5 years later, here I am. So that's what got me to where I am right now. So.
That's awesome. You learned a lot about dentistry in this short amount of time. And this subject is a hot one too, because you and I have talked about this. People spend a lot of money on marketing, and I'm one of them, spend a ton of money on marketing. And I'm like, well, what are you guys doing? What happened with that? I mean, it's the old cliche. I spent a lot of money on marketing. I just don't know which half is, people ask you, is it working? I think half of it is, but I just don't know which half. And some of these things are big investments. I've watched people spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on dental websites. And I'm like, are you getting any patients from it? And they're like, no. So you're going to help us today because this is a hot topic. What do we start? Why is this so important? And then where would I start? And what are some of the things that we need to know about building a dental website so that it actually works?
Yep. Well, I'm going to give you a ton of information today because I think it's unfortunate, but the majority of the dentists out there have ineffective websites, just very cookie cutter, no brand to them at all. They all look the same. The content's all the same. So I want to start from scratch, which is every dentist that watches this and listens to this needs to realize that there's really only one goal from your website. One goal. That's to get the visitor to pick up the phone and call your practice. Right. So everything about your website should be directed to that. And what does that mean? That means things like this: a prominent phone number on every page of your website, and prominent meaning big, not like gigantic, but in the same spot. We typically, all the websites we build, we put them in the upper right-hand corner so that everybody knows subliminally when they're when they land on a website, they see the phone number. Now they're reassured they know where the number is at. So that's one less worry in their brain. Now they can consume some content. Right. Because they know that phone number is up there. If they click around, the phone number is still there. Not only the phone number, but people, it's pretty crazy how people need to be led by the hand. You need to tell them exactly what to do. So a good indicator with the phone number is have the word call us today. Call us now, and have that to the left of the phone number. So you've got call us now, 555-555-5555, right? The number. Right. And that should be pretty big. When people see that phrase, call us now, it's a subliminal marketing tactic. It gets them think, if they consume a little bit of content, and we'll talk about content answering the question the consumer has and why they even went to the internet. If their content answers that question and they see that phrase, call us now, and the number, you got a pretty good chance they're going to call you. Yeah. So prominent phone number is critical on your website, in every page of your website, same spot.
Right. Now, I do have a question for it, and this is a little bit more detailed, but a lot of people are using what are called dynamic numbers now, where you can track the source. And for somebody somebody's watching this, can you explain what that is and why, and do you recommend that?
Yes. One thing you need to make sure of is that when you have dynamic call tracking, make sure it's a JavaScript. I don't want to get too geeky here, but make sure it's a code that swaps out your number, and all your phone numbers on your website should be in text format. A lot of the websites build the phone numbers via an image. Well, Google can't see that phone number, number one, so that's not good for your local listings. That's number one. But number two, then a call tracking software can't dynamically swap out the number because it's in an image. Mm-hmm. So make sure that your text, and the way a dentist can, check take your mouse, go up to your phone number and see if you can scroll over just the number. If that number can highlight with your mouse, that pretty much tells you it's a text. If you grab it with your mouse and it can move around, that means it's an image. Right. So you've got to make sure that, but we use call tracking with all our clients. Call tracking is the key to the kingdom for a marketing company, because we can track every single call from our efforts, be it, our SEO efforts, Facebook marketing, retargeting, all that stuff. But a lot of dentists don't use call tracking, and you'll never know what your ROI is on your marketing.
Right.
So, but you just got to make sure phone number is in text format on your website, so that you don't have conflicting phone numbers feeding to Google. Right. You don't want 3 or 4 different numbers related to your practice feeding into Google, because Google's going to say, which one's your real number?
Right. That is good to know. Very good to know. And the other thing you said, call tracking. I'm a huge fan of call tracking, because what it does in a lot of cases is just removes all emotion. Yep. And I found this to be true. I don't know if you find this. Every time you put call tracking in, everybody sits up a little bit straighter.
Oh boy.
And every team member, this, and they mean as well as they possibly can, but every team member that I've ever met says, we get them all. We get every phone call, and nobody gets them all, right? Would you agree?
Well, and the conversions, right? The bottom line for the dentist is that you hope you have somebody answering the phone that really their goal is to, and we're talking business here, so I'm going to say the word convert. That sounds a little kind of cold, not very humanistic, but ideally, if you get a phone call, the goal should be to book a consult, to book an appointment. Right. And when you have call tracking, and the call tracking is recorded, you can really see what's happening with all of those phone calls. And it's not a bad thing, but like you said, a lot of the people, especially the front desk, kind of sits up, firms up a little bit, and they realize, oh crap, I'm being recorded. Right. But turn that into a positive and make it a learning experience for the whole entire team. So you can have meetings, Monday meetings, to go over a couple of calls to see how you can how you can do better with it, so that you have higher conversions from every phone call that comes into the practice.
Right. And you study, I bet you have a lot of data on this, but the conversion rate in dentistry is extremely low. It's really low. Number one, if you answer the phone, that's good. That's just a good start. And then the conversion rate, and as we see, we have dentists from all over the world that come to our trainings, and 99% of them, 99%, don't need one more new patient. Their conversion is so low, the answering of the phone, their verbal skills. We've joked about this so many times, and it's really not a joke anymore. You can fix the phones, what happens on there. You can actually double your new patients in no time. For sure. And so give us, any metrics that would help us understand like how poor this is or how important this is? Well,
I mean, I'll give you a little story. And if I go off on a tangent, you just smack me around through the video and get me back on track. But we had a client in Arizona that had the wrong person answering the phones. Well, the wrong person completely. And actually, it was unfortunate that during her lunch break, they would forward the calls to her cell phone even. So she would be in shopping malls, in the grocery stores, crying babies, all these different things, and she'd pick up the phone. And she was not very empathetic, was not very inviting. And 1 month, we brought the practice, I think something like 60 phone calls. And I'm going to say 10 patients were converted of the 60. Wow. And we listened to the recordings, and she lost 20 of the patients. She single-handedly lost 20 of the patients, how she treated them. They got off the phone, didn't book an appointment. And then we started doing the math. Hey, what's a new patient worth to you? What's the first value? One number we do, one metric is, what's a patient worth the first year to your practice? Right. And the numbers can vary. It could be as low as 800. It could be as high as in the thousands. But I just said, are you comfortable saying 1,000? He said, yeah. And so we did the math. And then I said, how long has she been answering the phone? He said, 17 years. and the loss potential, it's not hard tangible, but the potential loss was $1.9 million.
Isn't that amazing?
All from the wrong person answering the phone. And I said, is there any way possible you can switch out somebody else on the phone? And he went dead silent on my call with him. And about 30 seconds later, I heard just kind of a couple of big gulps in his throat. And he said, I'll do it immediately. Yeah. It was huge. It's huge. I mean, you're talking about a lot of revenue lost, a lot of revenue.
That's your whole retirement plan right there, because I mean, think about that. If you just would put that in retirement for another 10, I mean, you just walk away from dentistry and enjoy that quite critical. A bit. Yeah, I love how you monetize that too, because that is critical. And I found that your estimation is spot on, you know, depending on the restorative nature. You know, some people where the new patient value might be a little bit lower, you know, doing more comprehensive work, you'll see it a little bit higher, but that is wonderful to get us in the right frame of mind, because dentists love data. You know, it's a huge impact. And some of you have already seen it. You have the new person answering the phone. You're like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? I got patients everywhere now. Exactly. You know, not only in recare, but in the new patient schedule, it can change the game. So great stuff. What else is important for us to understand when it comes to the web and overall web design in getting patients to call? Okay. On the homepage, here's a big pet peeve of mine. And a lot of the big design companies actually do this, but don't waste your whole first fold with a huge image. So people, if you force somebody to have to use their mouse to scroll to get to any information, you're going to lose 50 to 60% of them immediately within five seconds. It may look cool to have some beautiful stock image of some pretty woman or a good-looking family if you're going for family dentistry. But if you just have an image that takes up the whole entire first fold, the first fold of the website is what you see on your screen without scrolling up and down. That's called the first fold. And I would say 90% of the dental websites we see have a huge and unfortunately stock image taking up the entire first fold with no value to the visitor. So now you've just told the visitor, hey, come look at our pretty website, but we're not ready to give you the information you're looking for. You're going to have to scroll to get it. Right. So that's what a dentist needs to really understand is you're forcing them to have to look for the information instead of serving it up right away. Right. Now, some people do have a call to action in the middle of the image, because I get that question too. Do you suggest that or not suggest that? Same principle applies here? Well, it's kind of premature, right? I mean, there's no social proof. Right. They've not consumed any information. If you had a couple of phrases, let's say maybe you had a patient testimonial, or our big goal with all of our clients is to have a video of the doc on the homepage. And we've achieved it with about 50% of our clients, and we're trying to push it. Get a video, get a video, get a video. Because if there's a video on the homepage of the dentist, warm and inviting, 60 seconds. Here's another tip for more conversions. Get a video on the homepage. Just talk for 60 seconds as if somebody just walked through your front door and you're inviting them to come into practice. If you do that, your conversions will go through the roof. If you have a video, then a call to action surrounding that video, below the video to the right or left, nope, perfect. If you just got some big stock image and you say, call us today, there's no motivation there. They haven't consumed any information yet. It's premature. It is premature. Now, talk to us about video, because videos change the game. Now, I find this to be true even in our business. It's amazing. And even when I watch videos, you know, you see something online and you go, wow, that must be true because I saw a video on it. Yep. You know, video is one of the main game changers for any business. So why is video so important now? Well, remember this. I don't know the exact numbers, so don't quote me on this, but I know over 50% of internet content now is video. And I think it might be even 60%. So people are, and could Netflix, Amazon, could they be skewing those numbers? Probably a little bit. But YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world, owned by the biggest search engine in the world. So a lot of people are consuming how-to videos on YouTube. Dental videos on YouTube, I believe in them, so we always upload and optimize on YouTube as well for all of our clients. But don't think that a lot of people are going to YouTube looking for a dentist. That's not what they're doing. Right. But it's good to have that presence, like to have a YouTube channel. But the great thing about video is you, the dentist,
give somebody an opportunity to see you, to hear you, it's a high fidelity situation when you've got video. Mm-hmm. And when they see, a lot of our clients, when we see their current websites, I say a phrase, and I call it this: stop hiding behind your website. I can't find you. Where are you? If you're going to be inside my mouth, I want to know who you are. And the doc always says, well, yeah, it's over here. Click this button over here. I shouldn't have to do that. I should see right on the home. And if you don't have a video, at least have a picture of yourself, the dentist, on the homepage prominently, a nice smiling picture on the homepage. But video, the opportunity with video, we've seen conversion rates go 10 to 1 with video. Wow. 10 to 1. So anytime you can put a video on a service page, veneer page, Invisalign page, restoration page, teeth whitening page, your conversions will be 10 to 1. 10 to 1.
That's huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, you have to invest in video. I don't think you have an option anymore. You have to do it. Now, if I'm watching this and I'm a young dentist, okay, Mike, just what video should I put on the homepage? Would you want it to be more of a relationship type video? And then how long is it? Do we make it an hour and a half or 2 hour long video? Because that's a question. People put on videos that are like 15 minutes long. Now, I know the production cost on that was not cheap. Right. And you watch the metrics on these videos. How long are people watching videos? Yeah. So give us some advice. 60 seconds. That's it.
At the most. And theoretically, 45 seconds. If you've got an educational video, and if it's good content, by the way, you could push 1.5 to 2 minutes, but anything after 90 seconds to 120 seconds to drop off, it plummets, absolutely plummets. But the homepage video, the shorter, the better. If people see that timeline, if they scroll because a lot of people are smart enough to take their mouse, scroll it over a video, and see the timeline. Mm-hmm. If they see 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes gone, they won't even hit the play button.
That's so funny. Somebody just sent me a video about an hour ago, and I scrolled over it. It was 2 minutes and 4 seconds, and I said, that's too long.
Too long.
So, yeah. So I will watch a short video less than a minute. That is great.
45 to 60 seconds is ideal.
Right. So you want to put that on your homepage. Now, other things about, I've found this to be true. Also, when you're creating video, you want to make it timeless and faceless in some respect. Like you don't want to mention specific team members and instances and dates, because once you do that, you're kind of locked into the video. Is that true?
Yeah. All you really want to do is introduce yourself. Okay. And mention the city that you work in, because that's just good name brand recognition to say, I'm Dr. Joe Johnson and I'm a dentist here in Portland, Oregon, and then go into your little kind of warm and inviting little phrase, and then always end every video on a call to action. Do not waste a video and not invite them to call your practice for a consultation. And those words have to come out of your mouth. Don't rely on it like an outro or some kind of kind of a text page that's at the end of the video. You've got to invite them from your own mouth at the end, and just say, we invite you to come into our practice and, call us today. And don't even say the phone number, because, your marketing company might want to mess around with call tracking numbers. Just say, we invite you to call us today to book a consultation. End it right there.
Yeah.
Don't say a phone number.
And some dentists their skin is crawling right now because they're like, oh my gosh, it's okay. Mom always used to say this: you don't get what you don't ask for, right? And if you watch any video on TV now or commercial, even from the most salesy, whether it be P90X or just something simple on TV right now, they tell you, call today. Yeah.
Well, and then not only that, but you've got to make sure dentists, when they hear about video, they think that they've got to hire some professional videographer company that's going to charge them $10,000 to shoot a couple of videos. I'm here to tell you that smartphones now have the technology to shoot more than good enough quality. So what we have all our dentists do is take a smartphone, hold it horizontal so it fits, so it looks really nice in the video player. Get some nice lighting. You can bootstrap it yourself for zero cost on your own using a smartphone. Talk a little tiny bit louder so the audio is better. You could get a wired mic from the smartphone for $10 off Amazon. Right. But I don't want dentists to watch or listen to this and think, oh gosh, now I got to go get some video. Now that isn't to say it's nothing negative against video, professional videographer companies. They do a great job. And if the dentist really wants to go upscale, go for it. Go for it. Have a videographer come in for half a day, get 10, 12 videos out of it. And it's a pretty good investment to do that. But I'm just saying that for, the majority of the dentists out there, you do not need to do that. You can use a smartphone.
Right. And I think the key, what you said is spot on. I heard this years ago from some of the top video experts. One of the biggest secrets to video is audio. If the audio is horrible, we will throw out the baby with I don't care how good the video is, but if the audio is in a hollow room and it's terrible, I'll turn it off immediathere. So make sure that your audio is good.
Yep.
Yeah. So good stuff. Other things when it comes to design in your website, like where should we start, and where do we go from here that improves the amount of new patient telephone calls?
Okay, so I can go on and on here. So
please.
So the homepage is the most visited web page on the internet for any business. The homepage. So you want to have there's a couple of pictures, images. We call them images, but a lot of people can just call them pictures. But if you've got a nice looking office, put it for drive-by traffic, for kind of brand recognition. Take a picture of your external office and put it on your homepage. Put it on your homepage, and then have that show on a mobile device as well, so that people, if they're looking for your office, they have a visual of what the front of your office looks like. Right. So have a picture of your office. Second one, have a picture of your team. Have a picture of the team, warm and inviting. 12 staff team members. Whatever it may be, have a picture of the team. We do have some docs that have a picture of their family. I think that's great. So you've got the spouse, you've got the two children, they're sitting in a park, sitting down. That's a very warm and inviting, very real image to put on a homepage. I think that's great. So those are the pictures to put. Now the pictures to not put, and this is a no, which is this. So let's say you're in a beautiful place and it's in Colorado somewhere, or in the Midwest. Don't put a picture of a wheat field as your main picture on your homepage. Then when people land on it, they're going to wonder, am I on a farming page? Am I on a landscaping page? Am I on a dental page or not? So don't confuse, anytime for the slightest second you confuse a visitor, they're gone. They're going to hit the back button and leave. So even though you're in a beautiful area, do not put a huge image of I'm from Portland, Oregon originally. Now I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona, but the Portland, Oregon skyline, let's say. No, it's too distracting to the eye. It has nothing to do with your dental practice. Don't put a big image that's not dental related at all.
Yeah.
No.
Well, the ones I see, I don't see wheat fields a lot. I see the same dental stock image of the same woman. You know what I mean? Like it's the same. Like she must be like the most popular woman in all of dentistry. She's same photo in all these websites. So stock photography. Okay, none, zero.
No. If worst case scenario, grab a smartphone and take a couple of pictures of team members. Take a couple of pictures of. Even maybe a patient, and get a sign off from the patient to use on the homepage. The best ideal situation is for any of your services, get a patient, and they can sign one simple waiver. Get a patient for that service. So whether it's veneers, Invisalign, ortho, implants, any of those, get a relevant, and then on that image, before you put it on the website, in the bottom of that image, put real patient.
Right.
Put that on the bottom of the image so that when people see it, they go, oh gosh, wow, that's a beautiful smile. And that doc did the work on that. So don't forget to put that little phrase, real patient.
Yeah. And the other thing you said, warm and inviting, please don't take the photo the day that the temp was there and she's sitting in her scrubs. Yeah. It's funny to watch a team of 7 and then, 6 look great. And the 7th one is like this.
Yeah. No,
take the picture. The eyes tell the whole story. So you want to make sure you're an inviting, fun.
Everybody's having fun and smiling. Yep.
Absolutely. And I don't know about you, but I like less professional and more personal. When you see people having fun, you think I got to go there, type of a thing. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah. We had one client that did a really cool thing, and they decided to do for their about page for their team members. They had 3 images for each team member, and it was kind of cool. One image was just very stoic, very professional. Another was goofy, and the second one was goofy, where they're making faces and all these things, and then they put all three side by side.
That's cool.
And that was on the team page. And when I saw that, I thought, that is brilliant to just show the fun side of them. And some of them maybe took one picture serious, one picture goofy, and then one picture like a hobby, like they're on a horse, they're hiking, they're running, they're playing golf, right? So it shows different elements of each person. Now that takes a little more work, but boy, that about page will stand out from any other dentist in the area for sure. For sure. Very.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. And what are some of the things that make people call? Like, obviously, it's probably a combination of a lot of these things. You have the video, you have the call to action with the phone. Are there other things that you think would be important as we redesign our home pages? Or
the content.
Okay,
right?
go into that. Now, describe what content means.
Okay, the content is the words on the page. Right. And if I see one more home page that says the word welcome on it, that is the biggest waste of a word on a dental website. Google doesn't give a crap. What does welcome mean? There's no search engine optimization for that. They've already landed on your website. You don't need to waste, and especially like the main title of your homepage in the big letters does not need to be welcome. What it should say is maybe your practice name, right, and your practice city, right? It should say, Dr. Joe Johnson, a Portland, Oregon dentist, or something like that, whatever. But something where it's search engine friendly. And you could also put a benefit in there too, where it just says, gosh, I'm going to blank. I'm going to blank out right now. But something where it's an inviting phrase that grabs them to want to read more. But the word welcome is the biggest waste of a word on a homepage ever.
Right.
So for dentists watching and listening, go back to your website after this is done and delete that word. Take it off your website. Yeah. It does not need to be on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you and I talked about this too. The SEO component of the content is really, when you put those two together, that's when some of the magic really starts to happen. So how important is that now more than ever?
It's very important. Most of the dental websites out there have duplicate content. Google hates duplicate content. So a lot of the web design companies are just slapping up the same content on all the clients' websites. So the same orthodontic page is on 1,500 different dental websites. Google knows it. Google hates duplicate content. And the content isn't branded for the practice. It's not written for the practice. So when people read that stock content, it's almost as bad as a stock image. Right. It's very generic. It's very corporate. It's not benefit laden at all. I always tell people this. When people get on Google, they have a problem and they're looking for a solution.
Right.
So every time when they land on a web page, solve their problem with your videos, with your pictures, and with your words. Solve the problem. Don't be we this, we that. We've been doing it. We've been in dentistry 50 years and we pride ourselves on. That's talking about yourself. Mm-hmm. You need to talk to that visitor. From the first words in every paragraph should be talking to the visitor and the benefit of them calling your practice. And we see this every day when we analyze websites. It's very, very stale, generic content that isn't written for the visitor. Mm-hmm. Right to solve the visitor's problem, and you'll get the phone call.
Yeah. Now, is this true? I don't know if this is true. I've heard several people talk about it. But if you actually type in a prospective dental problem on YouTube and let YouTube populate the rest of the search, you'll see what people are looking for. So
it's called auto suggest. Yep.
Okay, so let's say let's just what is a dental implant? If you start typing that in, you're going to see what everybody else is searching, right. And you can actually do homework without hiring somebody that does charges you thousands and thousands of dollars. Or you can start to type in your name or your city. Is that an effective?
Absolutely, it gets kind of crazy. We've done that and come up with over 5,000 terms. Okay, 5,000 in dentistry. But it's something where, and I think it's overwhelming for a dental office to do it themselves. They could do it, right. But what are they going to do with that data? Right. They're going to sit there and stare at it, because theoretically, every phrase you come up with, you need to create content for that. Yeah. Every phrase you should, and every phrase should almost be its own page. So you're talking about creating hundreds and hundreds of pages on your dental website. But it's a great way to kind of just see what people are searching on. And then also, even from a internal practice standpoint, what to get in the consumer's mind on what they're searching for, to be able to speak their language when they call on the phone. It's very, very good.
Yeah, and I heard another dentist do this. That's amazing at content. He got little yellow 3x5 cards, and he goes, "Here's what we're going to do. Every question we get, we're going to just create content. We're going to answer the questions." So his team was turning in yellow cards every day, and he's like, "Man, we've got hundreds of questions to ask, because if one person asks it, there's thousands that are thinking it."
Yep, and that's a great thing about video. You can turn your dental website into a beast in Google's eyes if you decided to shoot, let's say, one video a week, and that video is going to answer the most common questions for veneers, Invisalign, smile restorations, implants. It's unlimited how many videos you could shoot. But if a dentist watching this decided to do that, you would be untouched by any competitor in your area. You would dominate your area, because you would be seen as the go-to dentist with all those educational videos. And then the great thing is, you save team time, staff time on the phone, because they've already consumed the video. When they place the phone call, they're ready to go.
Right.
You're saving time on the phone. It could be because the person answering the phone doesn't have to answer the question. The question was answered via video that enticed the viewer to call your practice.
Absolutely. I've said this for years too. I mean, if you're watching this and you're a young dentist and you're like, "Oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to give you your first video. Here it is. What is a dental implant?" And instead of saying, "Oh, I'm Dr. So-and-so and we do amazing things," just say, "I'm Dr. So-and-so. A lot of times we get a question, what is a dental implant? Let me explain." And you spend 2 minutes, well, this might be a longer video than just, a minute or what, and you just really educate people. They're going to go, "Wow, that guy is like the expert. You know why? I saw a video of him describing what it is." So it could be that easy. So good stuff. Now keep going. I've got 2 pages of notes. What else do I need? Because I got a lot of work to do now on my homepage, our website.
Well, another thing is, make your website easy to things, right? Lands on your homepage, but let's say their problem is, something about porcelain veneers. Maybe they lost a porcelain veneer, or they chipped a tooth or something. You want to make it easy to find all of those solutions on your dental website. And that could be partly from the top navigation. One thing I will tell you, and I'm giving you another great tip here that a lot of the design companies are still not following suit yet. Google, in the bottom of your website, that's called the footer. And it's typically a different colored section of your footer. Google does not want to see 500 links in your footer anymore. Because what happens is it dilutes the power of any web page, because you've got all these links. It's called link juice in SEO terminology. So what happens is, like on the homepage, you've got the top navigation, and that's where you see, home, about, contact us, services, location, office hours. That's on the top navigation. Typically, when you click on services, a pull down will come up, and that'll show cosmetic, restorative, cleanings, all those different things. Make it very easy for people to find that content. You also can put it on the side. We call it the sidebar. But so if somebody gets into the interior part of your website, on an interior page, on the side of every web page, put your top 5 or 6 procedures right on the side there, so it's visible at all times. Also, put a map. Put a map on every page of your website. Put a map.
Every page.
Every page. Put office hours on every page of your. Don't make people look for the most simplest things that they'll want. If they're interested in what they see on your website, don't make them click around to find where you're located. Don't make them click around to find out what your office hours are. Have them on every page of your website.
Yeah. Now this question comes up too, because everyone's moving mobile. What percentage of people are on mobile as opposed to desktop nowadays? Because it's trending, right?
60 to 70% are mobile now, and growing.
60 to 70. So you have to have a responsive site. Like, that's non-negotiable too.
Non-negotiable, but that responsive site, especially the mobile homepage, the first thing you should see is a call us now button. Right. A clickable button, or the phone number. I like buttons because people are used to seeing a button and knowing they can click it. If you see just a text phone number, they might not think that they can click it.
Right.
And then, they might take their finger and do it, but make it a button, make your phone number. So here's what I would have prominently at the top of your mobile homepage: a call us now button with the phone number, a map, and your office hours. And you could even have your address, your physical address. Then below that, you could have like a video of the doc. And then really the mobile homepage, people are not going to consume a lot of content on a mobile device, right, especially on the phone. If they're searching on the phone, they probably have an intense need for a dentist, whether it's a chipped tooth, a toothache, something like that, something more urgent. Just show where you're located, show what your office hours are, make it easy for them to find out where you're located. That should be the goal of your mobile homepage right there. Don't make your mobile homepage a mile long with all that content. They're not going to ever consume it.
Yeah, and you're really good at this, and you get this, but some people don't understand this, and I didn't until about 2 years ago. What people see on your mobile site doesn't always have to be what's on your desktop site. You can actually program it to exclude or include things. And in some cases, you can have it look almost completely different, and I'm a big fan that everything's got to be at people's thumbs now. Like it's got to be, I don't want to think when I come to your site, if I'm looking for you on my mobile thing, I'm not looking to read your bio. I'm looking to find you, maybe look at some reviews, and then I'm going to click a button. So it's important when you get somebody like you to do that, they understand the difference between those.
Let me, you reminded me of something also. So social media links and social media icons. Here's a big no-no. So the goal, when somebody lands on your website, you never want to send them off of your website. You want them to consume the content, pick up the phone and call you. So social media buttons, your icons, right, on a website and on mobile, do not have them near the top, because if they see that Facebook button and they click that Facebook, they're gone. They are gone because they're going to get distracted on Facebook. Then you've just lost them. Put your social media buttons at the very, very bottom of your website so that they can consume the content that you want them to consume. And if at the very bottom they want to go to your Facebook page and just see how current you are and how fun of a practice you are, fine. But remember, you do not want to send people off of your website. Also, third-party softwares. A lot of there's lots of great third-party softwares out there. But try to integrate the third-party software on your website. So when you hire a company that offers like online scheduling, online bill pay, make sure that it's integrated and stays on your website. Even if it's on their platform, you can get it to where it embeds on your website so that when they click that, like let's say Care Credit, and they click that button, it doesn't shoot them off to a Care Credit website where they go, whoa, wait, where am I at now? You want to always keep people on your website. And social media is a big distraction. So put all social media buttons at the bottom.
Yeah, I just had an aha moment when you were saying that, because how many times are you on your phone, you click on something, and then you're trying to find the page that you were on, and then I click that little, open book, and I'm like, which site was I on? Because you're right, I never go back there.
You get easily distracted.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Now, when you're designing a website, I just got to ask this because I do get these questions. How much is it? I mean, does it really cost $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 nowadays?
No. So the dentist needs to think of it this way. It's a business investment that you have to make. Your website is your online storefront. So that, and if you have a website that's broken or doesn't look good or it's dated, that's like walking up to your dental practice and you've got like cobwebs on the door and you've got a crack in the door, or the door doesn't quite work properly, or you've got maybe a window and you've got some old crustified thing in that window. That's what a bad website, and people relate a bad website to the quality of your dentistry. And dentists, they say, I don't get it. I do great cosmetic work, but I don't do any I don't get any calls. Well, you look at the website, it's dated, it's broken. You click on a link, it takes you to a blank page or like a 404 error page. But so first off, look at it as an investment, and it should be an investment that your website should last you 3 to 4 years, roughly 3 to 4 years. with not too many really major updates. And then, based on how Google is, based on, how technology is, then you might need to do a rebuild. But so when you invest in a website, think of divide it by 3 or 4, then you'll get your cost and it'll be more palatable. So, websites can range anywhere from in the low thousands, which really, from what I've seen out there, is not very good websites. And like you said, it could go crazy. It can be 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, but really it should be in the kind of 6 to 8 range, something like that. And it should be, and remember, I want to say something. So be careful when you're talking to a web design company, because if every question you ask is an add-on, like, oh, you want mobile optimization, that's another 1,500. Oh, you want an attached blog, that's 900. Oh, you want to integrate video, you know what I mean? So it gets, the number starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. You want to just give me the price. How much is it to get a website done that looks good on mobile that I can update on my own if I wanted to? That's the price you want to get from a website. And really a good, reasonable range is like 6,000 to 8,000 one-time investment, roughly. Okay. Anything pushing 10 or 12, that's getting up there.
Yeah. And what can I expect? When you look at, because you track all these metrics with phone and the new patients coming in. I mean, if I have a great website like you're coaching me on to do, how many patients am I going to get? It's hard to say the actual number, but like, give me a good idea of distribution between referred patients, patients that are coming from reviews, and then patients that are coming from a website. Because it used to be the old days, most of the restorative patients, restorative dentists we see, 90% of their patients came from internal referral. But I have so many dentists now saying, hey, look, that's the way it used to be. But I'll tell you, Google reviews are killing it for us. So I still get a lot of, but it's amazing. It's almost like 50-50 now. And then the best are getting like a third, and it's very well distributed. So what do you see?
Well, reviews are huge for sure. But I got to tell you, like websites like Yelp, which I'm going to make a bold prediction right on video here. It's a bold one too. I think in 2 or 3 years, Yelp's going to be a shadow of itself. And again, it's tough because a lot of dentists get frustrated trying to deal with Yelp, and then they pay Yelp, and then they get some of their best reviews filtered by Yelp, right? So they get a patient who's not a Yelper that does a great review, and Yelp decides not to show it. Right. So, and sometimes that happens in Google reviews and Health Grades and Rate MDS, some of the healthcare related review sites, but it's a double-edged sword. The key components of a successful online marketing platform is a great high converting website and traffic to that website. If you've got one or the other that's missing, it's not going to work. The solution isn't there. You have to have a good converting website, and you've got to have strategies in place to draw traffic to that website to get the phone call. And Google reviews is a big part of that, but the person searching is never going to see a Google review unless you've done some search engine optimization to get ranked high enough to get your reviews to show. If you're on page 4 of Google, they're never going to see your reviews. You're never going to get seen. So it really is a combination of high converting website and search engine optimization, maybe Facebook marketing to drive the traffic to this high converting website. You have to have both. If you don't, it's going to be a long, frustrating road ahead.
Yeah, I don't know who said this, but I was out in Seattle at a dental marketing conference, and somebody said the best place to hide a dead body was on page 2 of Google, because nobody goes there.
Nobody goes there. Nobody even goes really to the bottom of page 1. Even when you have a conversation with a dentist and you say, hey doc, you're at the bottom of page 1, we're getting you there, it's exciting. Bottom of page 1 is less than 1% of the clicks because people are going to click the top 2 or 3 results. Some of them might click the ads. 80% of the people skip the ads and go down to organic, which is very important for the listeners to hear too, by the way, because a lot of people say, hey, what about Google AdWords? Let me discuss AdWords quickly. And I think you'll like this. So Google is a $80 or $100 billion company. Maybe it's a couple $100 billion now, and they're a public company. They have to make money. So as SEO companies, we're seeing what they're doing now. And what they're doing is trying to add more and more ads to the first page of search results, and they're trying to make the ads look like organic results now. They've pushed it to the point now they are all identical except for a little box with the letters AD for ad.
It's getting smaller and smaller.
And what does that tell you? Google knows people skip the ads and they go to organic results. Mm-hmm. So for any of the dentists that are listening and all the PPC companies out there that do Google ads for their dentists are going to probably not like me after this, but Google ads statistics show drive about 20% of all web traffic to a business.
Okay.
20% of web traffic. So that you're leaving 80% of traffic, which is organic, which is below the ads. You're leaving 80% on the table. If you focus on AdWords and skip organic, you're leaving 80% on the table.
That's true.
And people just need to ask themselves, when you do a search, how many people click on an ad or skip the ads and go to organic?
I only click on an ad when I know it's exactly what I'm looking for, like Home Depot, or I don't even go at Home Depot anymore, but I'll click on it and I go, oh, I just charged them a few dollars. Oops. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, but I was looking for something yesterday and you're exactly right. I'm like, ad. I'm going to go to the first organic, because my thought is the organic people, they know what they're doing. These people have paid to be here.
Right, and that's what the consumer thinks too. So that's why Google's got a huge challenge ahead of them. Huge, because I think there's regulators out there that are not going to let them go much further than they've gone already. And remember, even though Google's huge, I'll say another bold statement. And Google couldn't do this, but if they made the whole entire first page ads, the user experience would go through the floor and everybody would bail on Google. And now all of a sudden Google's not going to be around in 2 or 3 years, and people watching this and marketers watching this might go, hey, billion-dollar companies go away every day of the week. They go away, and this is a consumer market, and if people don't like the user experience, they're gone. Mm-hmm. So if Google pushes it and keeps putting more and more ads and tries to get remember Google's phrase when they first came out? I'm going to test you, Kirk. What was their tagline when they first came out?
Oh, I can't even remember.
It's a long time ago.
That was a long time ago in my years. I don't know. I can't remember.
Don't be evil.
Oh, really?
Don't be evil. And what are they doing now?
Yeah.
What are they doing? They're not listening to their own words, right? Mm-hmm. They're being what I would call evil. They're being deceptive. They're trying to blend paid search with organic search.
Hey, you said that, I didn't. So if you're from Google,
exactly. Google's going to come after me.
Yeah, no, it's good.
But I don't want to discount Google AdWords, because a lot of people do a great job with it and they're seeing some good ROI with it. But remember this too: the cost of Google ads per click for a dentist or any other business are going to continue to go up. They will never go down, and they will never stay the same. They will continue to go up. So anybody doing Google ads, remember that. You're going to be paying more as time goes on.
Yeah, and you're competing with everybody then, that's got bigger dollars than you do. So,
and especially the corporates, right? Corporate dentistry.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to compete where we can compete, which is on the authentic level and just in the biggest return. So last couple thoughts that you'd have just on how to get people to call from a website that you've learned for sure.
Well, a very important page is your contact page, okay? That's a huge page because people are going to go and if you don't give the right information that we just gave the viewers and listeners today on the homepage, map on every page of the website, office hours on every page of the website, location on every page of the website, big phone number. If somebody, and I hope every dentist watching or listening to this goes back to their dental website after they're done to check and see if they're making those mistakes. At least on the contact page, have a prominent map, have a prominent form, because some people, only a small percent, but when you put a phrase in the top of your website that's called "Contact Us," you've got to put a contact form, because you're going to get a small percent that aren't ready to call you yet. But if you've got name, address, phone number, they will fill that out and they'll hit submit, and that gives your practice an opportunity to reach back out to them and get a new patient. So on the contact form us page, prominent map at the top of the page, prominent hours at the top of the page, prominent phone number at the top of the page, prominent address at the top of the page, and then a contact form. And it doesn't have to be a long one. The longer the form, people are going to bail. They're going to see the length of the form and they're not going to do it. So name, phone number, email address, submit. That's all you really need. If you ask, the more information you ask for, the least amount of signups you're going to get. People are going to bail.
Yeah, I've heard that from marketers all over.
But that contact page is the second most important page on your dental website, for sure. So get and then get a picture of your practice on the contact page so they can get that brand recognition again. They can see what your practice looks like from the outside so that when they start looking for it, they know in the back of their mind what it looks like. If you don't put a picture of your practice on your website, you're going to make them, when they start looking for your practice, you're going to frustrate some of them because maybe you're tucked in a corner, or you're in a strip mall, or you're with a bunch of other dentists in a healthcare building. You've got to make sure you take a picture to where they feel comfortable knowing what they're looking for when they're physically at your location.
Yeah.
Very important.
This is awesome stuff. Well, I got some work to do now on our own website. So thank you, buddy. Now, if people want to get a hold of you, again, how can I get a hold of you, Mike? Because, I asked you beforehand, you say, I'm always willing to talk to somebody for 15 minutes or so if they have questions. How can we get a hold of you?
Well, the website is www.thedentalboost.com. The word "the" is in there. Second word dental, third word boost, BOOST.com. My email address is mike@thedentalboost.com if people want to email me. So just go to the website. There's a big contact button on the homepage, calls to actions.
There you go.
On the homepage. But I just see that a lot of dentists are missing some huge opportunities because of their websites. So it really is. You've got to take a step back from that website and make it as good as you can within your budget, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're looking for a great podcast, I know a lot of us love podcasts. There's a ton of great ones out there, and yours is no exception. It is fantastic. Your Dental Success. You got some heavy hitters on there. That's great stuff. So
and you're going to be on it soon.
Woo!
You're going to be on it.
Are you sure? That would be awesome.
Absolutely.
I would love it. I would love it. So thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. So thank you so much for being on. I'm crazy grateful. So
you're very welcome. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hey, it is my pleasure. And so if you're watching this, thank you for watching the Best Practices Show. We just get tons and tons of comments and feedback and great questions that we're going to continue to answer for you and bring the best content from the world's experts. So we're crazy grateful. And we're even giving away every Monday an Apple iWatch to the best questions that are asked. So if you watch Mike and you're watching this today and you have a great question, please ask it just because we love your questions and we want to make sure we get them answered. So until we see you next time, keep watching the Best Practices Show and have a great day. Thank you so much.